Shalom, friends, and welcome to Walking the Ancient Path. Today, we'll continue our walk through the entire book of 1 Thessalonians, verse by verse, unpacking each passage in organic ancient Hebrew thought, picking up at chapter 3. Verse 1 in plain English of the Textus Receptus for our reference rendering. Therefore, when we could no longer bear it, we thought it best to be left in Athens alone.
Ancient Hebrew imagery rendering of verse 1. So when our chest could no longer hold the weight, we resolved to remain by ourselves in Athens, like a lone shepherd staying back in the city, so that you might be tended.
Imagery notes of verse 1, could no longer bear it. In Hebrew imagery, this is like a tent skin stretched tight until it can no longer resist the storm winds. Their hearts could not keep back the worry. We thought it best. A decision made after wrestling in the heart, like choosing the straight trail over the crooked one. Being left alone in Athens. Paul and his companions were in Athens, the intellectual and philosophical capital of Greece. To be left alone evokes the Hebrew shepherd image. The flock is at a distance, and the shepherd feels the loneliness of separation. It is not a selfish withdrawal, but a sacrifice so that care can be extended through another messenger.
Verse 2. And we sent Timothy, our brother and minister of God, and our fellow laborer in the gospel of Christ, to strengthen you and encourage you concerning your faith.
So we sent Timothy, our brother of the clan, a servant carrying out Yahweh's work, a co-worker beside us in the good news of the anointed, so that he might bind your steps with strength and steady your hands in trust.
Our brother, not just kin by blood, but clan family through covenant. In Hebrew thought, brother, ach, symbolizes loyalty, shared inheritance, and protection. Minister of God. In Hebrew imagery, this would be like a household servant who faithfully cares for the master's tent. Timothy is depicted as someone who doesn't carry his own message but tends to the Father's work. Fellow laborer. This is a powerful agricultural image. They work side by side as men yoked together behind the same plow, breaking the same soil for the same harvest. Strengthen and encourage. The Hebrew imagery is physical. To strengthen is to tighten cords, much like binding poles for a tent to prevent it from collapsing in the wind. To encourage is to help the heart stay upright, similar to bracing a weak leg so it doesn't buckle. Concerning your faith. Faith here is the Hebrew emunah, steady trust, shown as firm hands gripping the plow, refusing to let go even when the ground is hard.
Verse 3. That no one should be shaken by these afflictions, for you yourselves know that we are appointed to this.
So that no one among you would be swayed like a tent wall in the storm by these pressures, because you yourselves know that we were set in place for this very weight to rest upon us.
Shaken. In Hebrew thought, it would be like a tent wall flapping violently in the desert wind. Paul doesn't want their trust to be tossed about by circumstances. Afflictions. In Hebrew concrete thought, it is like grapes being crushed underfoot in the winepress. Affliction is not abstract suffering, but a tangible pressing weight. We are appointed to this. The imagery is military and covenantal. In Hebrew thought, it is as though Yahweh has planted them like stones in a wall to bear the strain. Their calling includes withstanding the weight so others may find shelter.
Verse 4. For truly, when we were with you, we told you beforehand that we would suffer affliction, just as it came to pass, and you know.
For when we were camped among you, we kept warning you that we would be pressed and crushed, just as it happened, and you yourselves have seen.
When we were with you. To dwell among the clan is to pitch one's tent in their midst, sharing their life. We told you beforehand, not just an abstract prediction, but a covenantal forewarning, like a shepherd telling the flock that wolves will surely come, so they must stay close to the staff. Suffer affliction. Again, the Hebrew picture is the winepress or clay pressed into shape. Affliction is not random pain, but purposeful pressure that shapes. Just as it came to pass, and you know, their words are confirmed by lived experience. Hebrew thought highlights lived memory. you yourselves have seen with your own eyes, making it a shared witness, not just theory.
Verse 5. For this reason, when I could no longer endure it, I sent to know your faith, lest by some means the tempter had tempted you, and our labor should be in vain.
This is why, when I could no longer hold back the weight, I sent to find out the strength of your trust, lest somehow the tester had drawn you into his snare, and all our laboring sweat be emptied out like water spilled on the ground.
Could no longer endure it repeats the imagery of a cover stretched to its limit, the tent skin torn by storm winds. His heart could not bear silence. To know your faith, not abstract knowledge, but to see if their steps still pressed firmly into the path of trust, like footprints in the dust. The tempter. This is the accuser who sets baited traps along the path, testing loyalty to the covenant. Had tempted you, more than just a suggestion, it's the thought of being led off the right path and into thorns or pits. Our labor be in vain. Paul depicts their ministry as digging through hard soil, sweat falling into the dirt. If the Thessalonians were to be lost, it would be like the field remaining unplanted, the effort wasted. In vain means emptiness, like carrying a jar to the well only to find it cracked and leaking.
Verse 6. But now that Timothy has come to us from you, and has brought us good news of your faith and love, and that you always remember us kindly, longing to see us, just as we also long to see you.
But now Timothy has returned to us from you, carrying the good report like a messenger bringing harvest news. Your trust is firm, your love is alive, and you hold our memory with warmth. You long to see our faces, just as we long to behold yours.
Timothy has come, a runner returning from the field or battle with tidings. His arrival is itself a sign of life. Good news of your faith and love. The phrase echoes the gospel itself. Their trust, emunah, steadfast grip and love, ahavah, binding loyalty are living fruit, proof that the seed planted took root. Remember us kindly, more than memory. In Hebrew thought, to remember, zakar, is to act with covenant loyalty. Their remembrance keeps the bond alive, longing to see us. Desire here is not casual, it is a yearning like a deer panting for water. Relationship and covenant stirs deep ache for reunion. Just as we also long to see you, and Paul mirrors their longing. Covenant love is reciprocal, not one-sided.
Verse 7. Therefore, brothers, in all our affliction and distress we were comforted, concerning you by your faith.
So then, brothers of the clan, in all our crushing and in every narrow strait, we found breath again because of you, through the steadiness of your trust.
Brothers, reminds them again of the clan bond covenant family. In Hebrew thought, this is not casual friendship, but blood bond loyalty under the Father's tent. Affliction and distress, two intensifiers. Affliction, the press of a winepress. Distress, the constriction of a narrow gorge. The feeling of being trapped with no way out. Both are vivid, earthy images of suffering. We were comforted. It's as if cool water was poured over a weary traveler or shade was found at midday heat. Their faith became a shelter for Paul and his companions. By your faith, their firm hold on the covenant path renewed the apostles' strength. Faith here is not just an abstract belief, but the tangible proof of their steady progress in following the Messiah.